front of a packed house, trying to get their first ever program win over the Yukon Huskies. A tip almost taken away by Fudd, goes out of bounds. And we're going to stay on this side of the floor. Now a 6'6" Pania Davis transfer from New Mexico Junior College, jumping it up in the circle. That'll be a fun matchup to watch in the paint between her and Sarah Williams.
A great battle in there.
A.K. Arnold getting this offense underway. UConn coming off a victory over Louisville, the number 20 ranked team in the country. Here, strong, letting it fly from three. That is no good. An offensive rebound, keeping it alive by Azzi Fudd. The position underneath, Sarah Williams can't connect. And another opportunity for the Huskies. Slicing through, a lane opened up for Arnold. She couldn't convert on the lay-in, and we're still staying right here on the first possession.
Yeah, Florida State, they cannot give 4 opportunities in one possession to the defending national champs.
Azzi Fudd off target, and finally that comes to an end for Florida State on their first possession of the game. A team that led the nation last year in points per game, nearly 87 per contest, and there is Williams. Florida State lost 2/3 of its scoring offense from last year, and Williams needing some help at the free throw line. She's going to find a mid-range shot. That's no good. Shot 32% from the mid-range last year at Wisconsin. Azzi Fudd, couple dribble pull-up, so pure, knocking down the mid-range. Streaking her way up the floor, Jasmine Shavers. She also has that blocked. It is dizzying to think of the number of times she has practiced that in a gym. Pump fake, 2 dribble, pull-up. Davis wrapped up inside
to force that turnover.
Meg, this is going to be a transition for Pania Davis, getting used to the physicality, let alone playing the number 1 team in the country. They're strong, taking a bump.
Sarah Strong is really, really difficult to defend because not only can she shoot the ball from not only 15 or 20 feet, but man, she can get to the basket quickly off the dribble.
Just saw there Brooke Wyckoff coaching at her alma mater, now in her 4th official season at the helm. Has this team on a positive trajectory, but they lost 3 first-team All-ACC honorees, and Tanaya Latson, who's now at South Carolina. We also have Michaela Timpson, who was on the Indiana Fever last season, and Omaria Gordon. After those free throws, Seminoles basketball again. Allie Kubek letting it fly from 3 along the big slot. That was something we saw quite a bit of her at Maryland, where she helped that team to the Sweet 16 last year, a Maryland native, now her 3rd school. Fudd will drive, kick her strong for 3, and she gets the bounce.
What a smart kick there by Fudd.
Close start here, UConn leading it by 2. Here's Shavers launching a 3, and she rattles it home. Shavers had been waiting for that. Was 0 for 6. Darting her way to the rim, leaving it up, nearly a 3-point play. Shade to Arnold. And some free throws coming up here. It's fun to see those two play off of each other in the same class. Starters their freshman season, took a backseat role last season coming off the bench. Now back in the starting lineup and really play off each other well. It's a different dynamic for this team that goes back to players like Brianna Stewart or Maya Moore, for example. Here, the steal, Azzi Fudd, and she kisses it off glass for 2.
UConn going to be much more full court pressure this year because of their depth.
Coach Oriema joked earlier this season, I have to remember how to sub again because we were decimated by injury for so many years. There's another rebound for Strong as she weaves up the floor. Two-player game back inside to Strong, whipping a pass to Fudd. She's got it. Exquisite offense by the Huskies.
It's so dangerous on the break. If you can get the ball up the floor quickly, change side of the floor, and then kick it out, defense not ready.
Another steal. Here comes Arnold going strong to the rim.
Too late for Florida State to recover. Just such a smart play. Such an outstanding passer.
Says a lot in and of itself. The Big East preseason player of the year named to basically every trophy watch list. Risch now orchestrating this offense past the midway point of this first quarter here in STORRS. Risch going to take it one-on-one. Shavers Now darting her way into the rim. That is no good. Offensive rebound, Avery Treadwell, who's picked up some big minutes, and you can tell she gets fired up as she puts that back up in it. Disciplined, hard workers every single possession. Dropped out inside. Jana Alfie takes care of it off the feet from Fudd. Getting the assignment on Soleil Williams, this team's leading scorer and passer. She's going to pull up from three and banks it in. Wow. She played a completely different style at Texas A&M to continue this pace at the point guard position. Getting her props from her head coach, Brooke Wyckoff, making that transition. Here's Sarah Strong earning herself a trip to the free throw line. At the free throw line, she's got 5.6 rebounds and an assist already. 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks in game number 1 of her sophomore season. UConn continuing with the full court pressure. Tatum Green can't quite handle the pass. And they're still working with their rotations and different lineups that we might see. He said, I don't want anybody to get too comfortable. We're looking at small lineups, large lineups, and how everything works together. So keep an eye on for that.
Yeah, he's getting pretty cocky. He's got, 15 players on his roster? He hasn't had this many since the late 90s.
Oh, Zabel, the hesitation. Looking through Davis at the high post. 2 international players, but Alfie.
After that walk call, Kubek looked at the official as she ran back, and she said, hey, I was pushed.
Now Alfie hesitates inside. More ball movement around the perimeter by the Huskies. Couple dribble pull-up for Heckel, who drops it through. She looks comfortable to start off against the number 20 team in the country. Pania Davis lining up a 3. That's no good. And Sarah Strong collects another. That is 8 rebounds in quarter number 1 for the preseason Big East Player of the Year.
She's sneaky, the stats she compiles.
Oh, the move by Heckel. She can't convert as she hung in the air. And that is how the first quarter will end. Yukon. Today with the banner unveiling, it feels like a little bit of closure because the 12 is not a big deal to him, he said, which imagine saying that.
Right.
It is the 30-year gap from 1995 to 2025 to win that amount in that span, the same group. That is the most special.
It's unheard of, yeah. What he and his staff have accomplished here is unheard of.
Pania Davis, a hard take to the rim. National champion, that one also historic. KK Arnold finding success as she barrels her way to the rim for 2. Sydney Bowles, leading returning scorer for Florida State, has been quiet so far, misses that shot. Here's Kubek, and she will grab a home of 3. Ashlyn Shade stepping into a 3 in rhythm. That is left short. Zabel working hard on her time on the floor. Sarah Strong, that's going to be an offensive foul. But Pania Davis was the top recruit in junior college basketball. She makes her way to Tallahassee.
And the 3 returning kids really had a lot to do with bringing these 7 new kids in. And they have melded quickly and nicely with this Florida State culture.
Sarah Strong with the rejection on the other side. She's going to take off to the rim on this side, dropping it off for Williams. The playmaking, unstoppable.
That's the way to get her confidence going.
That's officially 1,500 career points for Sarah Williams. Now in her 4th season, spent her first 3 at Wisconsin. Strong looking ahead. Ball finds itself inside Sarah Williams. That was poked away.
And the unselfish pass, splitting the defense so as to not commit a second offensive foul.
7 points, 8 rebounds. 7 minutes before halftime. I have a feeling that's going to be a pretty routine goings-on for Sarah Strong. Just like shots like that, holding off her defender, and the turnaround is good. Williams will drive and take a deep 3 for Bowles. She gets the friendly bounce.
Loving these rims here this afternoon.
Florida Florida State has 8 field goals, 5 of them from long range, keeping them afloat in this game on the road against the #1 team in the country. This is a Florida State squad picked to finish 9th in the ACC preseason poll, and was a big part of that team.
Absolutely, still beloved here in Connecticut. You watch her up and down that sideline. She's in such good shape. She looks like she could still play.
She very much does.
Fell down, gets herself to the line.
Freshman and sophomore seasons at Notre Dame, but when she was in high school, she was an All-American, a top 20 recruit in the country, and for her career, Meg, 42% from 3. Both her and Tatum Green, Coach Wyckoff is excited to see them unleash their potential. And they're still waiting to unlock her as a shooter as well. Shot 45% her senior season. The McDonald's All-American game 3-point contest win. This Fudd going back door. She loses the handle.
That's a tough call. And Fudd shot 92% from free throw range last year.
Maybe she's inspired by a fellow Yukon alum, Nafisa Collier, who became the second player in WNBA history with a 50-40-90 season in Minnesota Lynx.
Tell you what, Nafisa Collier is just a different level. She's unreal.
Absolutely unreal. Back-to-back years, the runner-up for MVP behind Asia Wilson. Kayleigh Heckel bringing the pressure, and she's going to lay it up and in for 2. The Yukon Huskies are smothering in the backcourt. And then she's double-teamed in the corner. She's in trouble right now. Heckel threatening to take it away. Shavers falls on top of her. Kind of a new era. Not a transition here. They still have the same high expectations, but with 7 new players. Look at that pass. Unreal. Arnold into strong. Florida State, look at the engine of Solway Williams bursting down the floor. It looks like she stepped out of bounds. Meg, it's one of the fun things watching KK Arnold this season. You think about her coming into her own, watching other point guards like Paige and Nika Mule and Caitlin Chen, as well as the Huskies put another one on the board. Fudd with 11 points, tied for the game high with her teammate Sarah Strong. Strong picks it up, looking to go coast to coast here, and gets the foul. It is very much possible within her career, if not this season, to be added to that list with the kind of potential she has. It is boundless. Now 10 seconds to shoot for Florida State. Sydney Bowles calls her own number. That's too strong. And ripped away. It is Pania Davis attacking. Pania Davis, her first time playing at this level, learning the physicality of this game, but growing up in Australia, continued playing in basketball, so she left that behind. Sometimes you find yourself down a studying rabbit hole. For me, it was watching netball competition. Here's Strong taking off, an unstoppable take. Yukon now firmly in command, 42-25. Florida State had been sticking around for much of this first half despite shooting woes and turnover woes. Here is Kayleigh Heckel coming up with it again. Fudd, the trailer, wide open. She's got it.
Doesn't take much for Fudd. She needs just a split second.
That is her second triple. She's got 14 points, 3 assists as well in half number 1. Another steal. Fudd in the passing lane, and she takes it all the way.
Why not give it to Azzi Fudd, one of the best shooters ever?
15 seconds for 2 shots.
Solway Williams. Williams, the leading scorer, leader in assists on this team. And here comes the season debut of Caroline Ducharme, and on her birthday, no less, did not play against Louisville. Just a wonderful story of her perseverance coming back from multiple head and neck injuries to return this season.
Yeah, not only a crowd favorite, a team favorite, a program favorite, just a great kid who's had a lot of bad luck in her career, but she keeps fighting.
But the student section saying happy birthday to her.
Doesn't happen often, right?
Zabel trying to get the step along the baseline. She'll kick it over to Fudd. 4 seconds to shoot. One dribble pull up. Too smooth from Fudd. Now up to a 22-point lead. There's a couple possessions, it feels like minutes ago, as Bowles can't counter, and flying in for the rebound is Ducharme.
Good hustle for the rebound by Ducharme. Love the box out by Alfie to clear out the space in there.
One of those things you wish was a box score stat every once in a while. Fudd's going to take some time off the clock, about a 2-second difference shot game clock. Trying to take Bowles off the dribble. Puts it up and in for two. A 51-point first half for the Yukon Huskies, who looked like there were no answers to stop them.
I tell you what, we saw them miss a bunch of layups.
We have been able to see her dazzling repertoire, her ability to pass, to rebound, 16 points, 8 rebounds in the first half alone. She had 9 rebounds in game number 1, 13 double-doubles last season. She's a machine in that regard. As UConn with the basketball, first possession of the second half. Put their foot on the gas in the second half of the second quarter. Sarah Strong continuing where they left off. So Williams trying to find any kind of breathing room. Sydney Bowles gets herself into the paint, kisses it off close. Straight on three by Fudd, just rims out. That was halfway down. An offensive rebound. Sarah Williams using every bit of that pivot. Still can't get it to fall at the rim. The rebound snared by Pania Davis, pushing it up the floor. Bowles trying to go one-on-one. Well contested at the free throw line. That doesn't go, and KK Arnold off to the races. Has one to beat, the sidestep, and finish at the rim.
I like the way she used the glass there. Really good finish on the run by Arnold.
Good look. Jasmine Shavers knocks it down for 3. Back the other way. Hope he didn't blink. Ashlyn Shane, though, an offensive foul. Her defensive intensity and how she turns that in to eruption at the rim. Great example there.
And she's done such a better job of controlling her body.
Sarah Strong in the passing lane says, I'll take that for my team. Going all the way to the cup for 2.
Those quick hands on the defensive end, knocking that ball away.
That is 12 steals for the Yukon Huskies as Davis is just smothered.
The floor can finish. Avoiding any contact.
Sarah Williams with another rejection. Here is Shavers launching a 3, and the rebound tracked down by Shea. That has struggled to win to the defending national champions. No doubt about that. Strong, able to feed Sarah Williams perfectly that time.
Pass it away from the defense, led her
1,500 career points in the first half last year, averaged nearly 20 and 10. Here, getting in the passing lane, showing it all off. Countess
gets her teammates on the bench up screaming. What a play. I mean, stepping in the passing lane herself at 6'4" with the finish. It's interesting, you know, she's missed a couple layups here early in the game, yet finishing there on the break while getting bumped does a lot for your confidence.
63-32 is UConn's lead. It's going to be another turnover.
Of not having those sorts of turnovers that certainly will lead to havoc on the other end. They made better decisions.
Zabel lines up a 3 and drains a 3. Waits for a screen from Treadwell, will reject it. Here's Allie Kubek, no good from long range. An offensive rebound by Risch. But coughed up, bodies flying everywhere. That's the intensity that we expect from these two teams. Nearing the midway point of this third quarter here in STORRS. The Huskies with 2 20-point scores apiece. One of them is Azzi Fudd, adding to her tally. But they have not looked fatigued at all. That was something that Azzi Fudd talked about after the Louisville win, where she said there were times where the communication broke down and I blamed our fatigue.
Yeah, they don't look fatigued here at all today.
Oh, what a dime. Across half court, and the reversal by Sarah Williams. To existence of Williams finding that kind of rhythm right now in the third quarter. She's in the passing lane once more, showing her activity. Risch lets it fly for three. Yukon back with the basketball. That ended, or at least paused, a 15-0 run by the Huskies, but Strong is wide open. She can't knock it down, though. Think back to the second quarter, they led just by 6, 29-23 against the Florida State Seminoles at the 6:19 mark of the second quarter. They've not been messing around since. Three on the way and good for Jasmine Shavers and the Seminoles. Kayleigh Fisher, her first action, turns it over. Up the other way and scoring off that turnover. First action of her Yukon career for Kayleigh Fisher in the corner. Here's Heckel driving to the rim and dropping a three. Shifty player is Heckel, trying to catch up to Bowles, who takes some contact, can't get it to fall. But Davis right there for the putback and the contact.
A smart play by Davis.
6 points. Now 7 points, 6 rebounds for Davis. Top-ranked player out of junior college. Lob comes inside to Alfie, but is picked off by Bowles, and another chance to score. Off a Yukon turnover.
Yeah, ill-advised pass by Heckel, but well defended by Florida State.
Bowles thought about the step back. It's Tatum Green launching a three, and she's got it. 9 triples. Fisher looking to settle things down. She'll get it over to Heckel. Heckel calling her own number from the mid-range. And she made that look good. Williams with a burst up the floor. And she's going to go 94 feet with some razzle-dazzle.
No one stopped the ball. Heads-up play by Williams.
Fisher explodes to the rim for two, and this is the pace we saw to start this game when it was a back-and-forth contest within a couple possessions. This is exactly how Florida State wants to play. Last season, 8th in pace in the nation, also leading the NCAA in points per game. Turning the corner is Heckel. Look at that speed to the rim, ripped down by Alfie, and she'll be shooting two. Bright spot for Florida State in this game where they have struggled to shoot. Williams slowing it down in the half court for the Seminoles. Williams threading the needle, but that was picked off by the Huskies. Zabel comes up with it.
Yeah, really good team defense there by UConn. Everyone knew where the ball was. Good weak side help.
Zabel sets herself up for a long two. She drains it. 20 seconds to play. Shot no good by Risch. And shot clock off for Heckel and the Huskies. The mid-range is good. She has put together tremendous back-to-back games for the Huskies in her debut for this team. The launch by Bowles. And we head to the fourth quarter. UConn still in control.
And she just makes it look so easy and so effortless. And yet have a great time. God only knows what they're talking about over there.
Just some shenanigans over on the bench.
Exactly. Remember, they are kids.
83-48 is UConn's lead at this point. Risch will drain a three. The freshman from Baltimore moving the basketball. Now under 10 to shoot. Zabel trying to get some help inside the paint. Fisher darts through opponents. Can't get that to fall. Green is going to take off right to the rim. Scores around Alfie.
Love that aggressive take to the rim.
Isabel travel.
Two great kids who have gone on to do even better than they did here at UConn. Castle only here at UConn for 1 year, but already making big things happen in the NBA.
And then just had a tremendous rookie season of the WNBA as well, the WNBA Rookie of the Year. She's going to have a new head coach, and Jose Fernandez, the former head coach of the South Florida Bulls. And I'm really excited to see how he might transform her game and really utilize her in the best way possible. Nice Brady working through the high post. Ashlyn Shade will now find Ducharme. And it's going to be an offensive foul. Speaking of Patterson, this is her first time playing in a game now, in 960 days. Is Kubek, someone who has been incredibly resilient. First a knee injury, then shoulder surgery, has missed so much time. Here she gets the touch deep in the paint, puts it up and in. How good does that feel for Ayanna Patterson?
Keeps fighting and always has a smile on her face.
She said her goal this season is just to get her legs under her, get in shape, letting the game come to me. The cards fall where they fall, but I want to author my own story, not the player who was beset by so many significant injuries, but had that comeback to become a key member of this team.
And she's a freak athlete. Let me tell you what, the kid can jump out of the gym. As Ducharme knocks down a three to a huge ovation. And Ducharme knocking down that three today on her birthday, no less.
Here's Kubek for three. That's no good. Ducharme able to snare it. Nearing the 5-minute mark of this game. And in the passing lane, Sydney Bolts up ahead to Tatum Green. And she'll take care of it here in the footsteps of Patterson. Just thinking about that 0-2 team after they lost in 2001. That angst to win a national championship was palpable. It was in the locker room. It was on the plane. It was during pickup. It was on summer vacation. It was always there every day, and it's what fueled them. And as he's wont to do, sort of talking philosophically, is Slim Shade scoring on the fast break. How that all kind of factors into a team chasing back-to-back championships.
Yeah, that can be paralyzing if you have that fear of losing where it stymies you, you know.
Good take by Pania Davis, earning herself a three-point play. UConn leading 90-64. An ineluctable lead at this point. UConn really took command in the closing minutes of halftime. It was a two-possession game, 29-23, with the 6:19 to go in the second quarter. UConn closed the first half on a 22-4 run, and it's been all Huskies since. Look at the unselfishness. Ducharme setting up Ice Brady.
Yeah, beautiful pass to a perfectly positioned Ice Brady to finish with her left hand.
She's not really looking rusty right now with all the time that she has missed. Pania Davis is completely wrapped up by Ice Brady. Well done defensively. How efficient they can be in a shorter period of time and fight for every minute of playing time. There's a lot of players in that category with things feeling quite open.
There's nothing like competition to earn your minutes as opposed to what he's had the last couple of years. He had to play people because he didn't have enough bodies.
Ducharme snaking along the baseline.
So, watch this. After this play, watch the bench. You think they're a little bit excited for their girl, Carol? The teammates on the bench are loving it. But those are like pictures of what Caroline Ducharme was early in her career.
One of the prize recruits in her class. Solely Williams knocking underneath the defense. Ice Brady through the contacts.
Strong move to the basket. Anytime you can make it and get fouled, boosts your confidence.
We know Coach Oriema is always a quote machine, but something I like that he said about Ice Brady early on was that he reminds her of Willis Reed. Under a minute to play. And Brady securing that rebound. The Huskies from the outset struggled with their efficiency, but were stifling defensively from the tip. Smooth from the mid-range once more. She's got 12 points.
Good help there by Brady to step up and stop that drive.
Brady, another rebound. The shot clock is off. And the fans and the students ready to celebrate on what is already a celebratory afternoon. Banner number number 12 is revealed. They back it up with a dominant victory. 99-67 is the final, and the Yukon Huskies, the top team in the country, 2-0 this season, leaving no doubts in this one.